Alright, moving forward in the Van Damme review series, we have the 1989 flick Cyborg, starring, of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Deborah Richter, Vincent Klein, and Dale Haddon as Pearl. Alright, well, this is a little better. It's a lot better than Black Eagle. I did not like Black Eagle at all. But this one, I'm not a big post-apocalyptic movie kind of guy, but this was actually decent. It's one of the last films produced by Canon Films when they were trying to make some money after not being able to do the Spider-Man film and the Masters of the Universe 2. In fact, they reused the costumes they were supposed to use for Masters of the Universe 2 in this film. And the story is, originally this film was going to be called Slinger. The director, Albert Pune, wanted to call it Slinger, but Canon said no, we're calling it Cyborg. Even though the Cyborg is barely in the damn movie. Pearl is the Cyborg, and she has, apparently there's this plague that is, come across the planet as you would in a post-apocalyptic kind of movie. And she has downloaded the cure into her systems. She's being protected at first by a guy who looks very much like Bruce Campbell, but it's not. I did a double take. Swear to God, it looks just like him, but it's not. And there's this bad guy named Fender. She comes across a slinger named Gibson. His full name is Gibson Rickenbacker. Let's just call him Gibson, or Gibbs as they call him. He also has a vendetta against the villain Fender. Fender's men attack him and take her hostage, and Fender's going to take her to Atlanta because he wants the cure, because in his eyes it will make him a god. If he has the cure, everybody else wants it, you see. So Gibson sets out to track down Fender. Not so much to distribute the cure, but to get revenge because Fender killed the woman that Gibson loved and a couple of children. Yeah. So before I get into the whole plot synopsis, let me tell you a few things. First of all, a few things that I liked. The action sequences with Van Damme, pretty good. They only had like 4 stuntmen in this. So Van Damme is basically fighting the same 4 stuntmen. There was even like a court case where he accidentally, during a fight scene, like he would tap people to make it look more realistic. And I guess he scraped the eye of one of the stuntmen. He took him to court. The guy took Van Damme to court. And, they settled out of court. But, the fight scenes are pretty good. Although I will say the final fight scene is very familiar. See, it's 2 big, muscly guys with no shirts on, fighting in the rain. And if you think that sounds familiar, well, that's because Universal Soldier used that for its finale 3 years later in 1992. So, yeah. I like the matte paintings they used. And I like the whole... I do like the whole post-apocalyptic look. The sets, Canon Films is very notorious for doing things very cheap. And it was very well done. However, that's where all the good goes for me. The acting in this movie, terrible. Not many people in this movie could act. And when you have a Van Damme movie, you want to have actors surrounding him that can act. Because Van Damme, is not the best actor. He gets better as things go on. But here, in 89, he had been in a couple of movies. No Retreat, No Surrender, Black Eagle, Bloodsport. I don't think he'd done Kickboxer yet, but it's because of Bloodsport he got this role. Actually, they wanted Chuck Norris, to play the role of Gibson, but Ken said no. if you want, we're going to do it with Van Damme, and if, we can find a different director. You want to direct this movie, it's Van Damme. So they said, okay. He said, okay, and we had Van Damme, which Chuck Norris probably would have been a little bit better. I don't know if Chuck Norris is the best actor either. No, he's good at karate and stuff, but yeah, a lot of things come off, and a lot of the acting comes off very wooden. The actress who plays Pearl is probably the most wooden in this. She's very wooden, and all the actresses in this they're all terrible. But I can understand originally they were gonna have an android voice for Pearl, so that makes sense. But everyone else is just so terrible in this, and Van Damme has limited dialogue, so you don't get much from him. And yeah, I mentioned the matte paintings were good and some of the set designs, but the effects. This was 1989. They used, when they show Pearl getting the thing and turning into the cyborg, that's all right. But when she reveals herself first time as the cyborg, stop motion, it looks terrible. It looks terrible, and I'm sorry. And this is even on the DVD. This is a DVD, and it still looks terrible. It looks terrible. There's a director's cut of this film that changes almost everything. One, the motive is not to deliver a cure, but to turn on the electricity. And when he finally gets her there, after defeating Fender in the director's cut, it's revealed that the cyborgs want to take over. Okay, apparently Albert Pune did this. Apparently he's promoting a sequel to this. There was actually 2 sequels. Two that Albert Pune did with different names. I don't know. He like I say, released the director's cut under the name Slinger, which explains more. I guess there's a voiceover that's supposed to be Van Damme, but it's not Van Damme because you can get him to come back. Explains what a Slinger is, and I don't know. I'm not gonna really go into it, but yeah. One more negative I have: the character of Haley. So throughout the film we get flashbacks, and you put flashbacks in a film. I don't think they knew where to place the flashbacks right. So we get the flashback after she's captured. Why couldn't we start off with Pearl being implanted, becoming a cyborg, and moving forward? No, she's just running out of a building with not Bruce Campbell, and then she says, "Oh, I'm a cyborg," to Van Damme, and then later, halfway through the film, we cut back to her with Fender, and we get her backstory of how she became, just what she's thinking of in her head, just flashbacks in her head of how she became the cyborg. And then we get random flashbacks here and there of Van Damme with the woman, because there's this, he meets this woman named, Rady, who comes on to him. We see some tits. He gets some booty, too. She runs naked into the river, the water, ocean, whatever. And so, she takes down her little potato sack that she's wearing. And he's like, no. And covers it up, because he had a woman that he loved, and she was killed by Fender. We get flashbacks of this woman with Van Damme wearing a horrible wig, with a horrible blonde wig with a ponytail. What? Why? And then, it doesn't make sense, because later, he doesn't have the wig after they're killed. So how long ago was that? The little girl playing Haley looks the same age. So he just cut his hair before they were killed? What? I don't know, but we're showing the flashbacks introducing Haley just before the older version is introduced and revealed that she's with Fender. And it's like, okay, we're supposed to care because we don't know her. Had you done this chronologically and introduced, done the flashbacks earlier in the film. Like, I don't know. What I would have done is take Rady out of it and had him actually escorting Pearl there himself. They share flashbacks. She reveals what happened to her, he reveals what happens to him, and then they encounter Fender, and then it's revealed that Haley is part of it. That would make more sense. This just doesn't make any sense. Van Damme is crucified in this film, and it's hit me a little hot under the collar, to say the least. It was like, who thought this was a good idea to have him crucified? He does eventually get, break himself. We get a bunch of flashbacks. We see how the people died during this, and it falls over because he's kicking the wood or whatever, and then Rady comes to rescue him, and Nady comes to rescue him, and then they go on, and it's just, the final fight is good, although it's just a bunch of two wet men fighting each other in the rain, which, like I said, I think was handled a little bit better in Universal Soldier, which we'll get to, but, and at the end, he takes, Rady dies, so I don't know what the hell her part was in all this, because Rady dies, and then Haley turns on Fender, which you knew was going to happen, because, hello, and then, he kills Fender, which in the director's cut, he actually slices him in half, which I think would have been the only thing that I would have liked, because in the director's cut, apparently he's calling himself Satan, or he works for Satan. I don't, either religious bullshit. We had the I was nervous enough with the crucifixion in this. And then they take Pearl back to where she came from, and he's like, oh, I don't belong here. And then they're just gonna, he and Haley are just gonna go on together. My question, how long has it been since his lover was killed? Haley is his lover's sister, right? And she's like a little girl there. How long has it been? Because, he hasn't really aged, and she's older. So I don't know. It's very confusing. I'm guessing she's maybe 12 or 13 in the flashbacks, and here she's probably, I would say, early 20s at least. Maybe she's 16, and I just can't tell. Who knows? All the dirt and shit on their faces. I don't know, but this wasn't bad. I'm gonna give it a middle of the road because I'm in the middle of the road with it. I just think it's okay. I don't know. This is one of the ones, people say Van Damme movies, they say Cyborg, and it's good, but it's nothing I write home about. It's middle of the road type of thing for me. But next, and I can tell you what the next one is going to be, is Death Warrant. So look for that one. But as it pertains to this review, what did you think of Cyborg? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.